It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on the tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
I'm fairly certain that the world is going to end in a nuclear bombardment or
rivers turning to blood, the deluge, the conflagration.
Enjoy the time you have left. Don't worry, it won't matter. We don't have a chance.
Because if the Bible's anywhere near accurate, we're just going to be running around trying not to get our heads chopped off over this whole mess.
When the snow was on the ground and the Christmas lights were up, I'd seen the attack begun.
The lights will go out just like this. So if you're not sheltered, you're dead before you'd ever even see the light.
For me, it's not about, well, what's going to happen. It's that I actually could possibly make it if I had to, and I feel very good about that.
I'm like Noah. Not that I believe in that, but I got an ark full of all kinds of weapons, all kinds of animals. Everyone thought Noah was crazy. And then what did they do? I think they probably begged right before they choked on the rain.
Okay, dry food, solar-powered security lights, trauma and surgery first aid, amoxicillin, ciprofloxacin, azithromycin, 650 gallons of water, nuclear, chemical, biological safe room. Foreign troops invading, alien entities, collapse of the dollar, 2012, solar flares, pandemic, global thermonuclear war, whatever, we don't care. All good things. What we focus on is how to deal with the situation.
Such a jar of venison that was put up 25 to 30 years ago. You want to taste this venison?
Everybody realizes that we are in the last days. Right now, we're standing right in the doorway of World War III. So the whole United States is going to get rained down with missiles on it. Come on down. And I've devoted my life to trying to help people and warn them what's going to happen and how to make a fallout shelter so that they can live through it and be prepared. There's no reason that you have to be miserable. We know these things are going to happen. They've been foretold. The Savior said they would happen. He said, watch, be ready, be prepared. If ye are prepared, you shall not fear.
Underneath this area here, I've got my bomb shelter, just in case we get like nuked, just in case Leland's right. We had a black widow have babies here, and we've had some problems. You know, I bought every gun I could get my hands on, and nothing I have is registered. Let's see our toilet paper. That's the most important thing to have. You can't wipe, you're in big trouble.
I've sold virtually everything because I need to be mobile. For 15 years, I have not owned a television, so I have a collection here of about 400 videos. Groundhog Day is a spiritual movie to me of immense proportions because it shows how you perfect life by living it over and over again. I've been researching for years on this topic, and if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, it doesn't matter what you prepared for. The concept is to find a place for thousands of people, isolated enough that you can sustain life for a long period of time. I don't believe in defending myself. I believe that spiritually that attracts attack. If you're in any place where there's large groups of people desperate for survival, then you risk conflict.
Ready? See? If you try to break into my house and you see that, I suggest you turn around. But you won't even have time.
Most people in the world, they want to come to the heavenly kingdom, America, where you can get everything you want to eat and your life is governed by your own efforts and have the freedom to try, the freedom to fail, the freedom to succeed. But it's freedom, freedom.
There's nothing going on. The occasional car wreck. Somebody's wife slept with somebody else's husband or wife or some stupid thing like that. And you can go down to the other gas station here and get all that information.
Parowan is a community who stick together. We always pull together, always have done. If I needed to, I could go knock on any door in town, and there's not a soul in this town that would not open the door and say, "Can I help you?" That's Parowan.
Come here, ladies. Come on. Come on out here. Who wants to sit in my lap, huh? Who's gonna sit in my lap, huh? Come on, scoot off. Scoot off. I remember one lady I talked to here months ago. I said, "Boy, you wouldn't believe I slept with 10 chicks last night." And she said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Yeah, it was beautiful." Maybe you ought to take your sunglasses off, Tyler, so the millions of women all around the world, when they look at this, they'll know who you are. They can see your face. Well, we've had a banner bigger than this one here out along the freeway. The Department of Transportation says there's 500,000 cars a month go by it. And I had I don't know, maybe 100 responses out of 24 million. Me and the other people that are affiliated with me, we have bought thousands of bottles of potassium iodide. So we've got enough medicine now to everybody in this valley we can protect. And here's a bottle for your cameraman. When you know that fallout is coming, get some potassium iodide. So you're loaded with this kind of iodine, then it does not pick up the radioactive iodine 131-33.
Yeah, come on down. I will heap mischief upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. Arrows are missiles, of course. They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust, which is fallout. So just, you know, comforting scriptures, all kinds of scriptures.
Revelation, let's go through it again here. And if you don't really study, what does it say in 1 Timothy? Study to show thyself approved, you know, rightly dividing the word of truth. And he makes war? God makes war? Yeah, that's what it says. But people don't believe it. Keep reading.
His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Now who is that? The King of Kings. Go ahead.
Sometimes in meetings, interesting things come up, and I just usually like to write it down or mark the scripture. And my favorite part about Parowan is that Leland came along to help us all.
Now I'll tell you what I think. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 20th, they're going to have an inauguration, they believe, in Washington. Maybe they'll pull it off. I think tomorrow there's going to be a big fire. And I think millions of people are going to die. Tomorrow. As we count it.
But
tomorrow.
now wait a minute, you said that last month too.
I said it last month too. Yeah. And I was a false prophet last month.
You was.
Right. And I maybe, we'll see.
We're going to be talking about everything from scientific information to ancient historic data to current events and future prophecy. Well, one of the first things I came across turned out to be the most important thing I learned in my life. We theoretically should be going back into an ice age at any moment in time. So don't get too depressed by some of the other stuff that you see. Okay, one of the first things we're going to get into is, do I have a mic feedback here? Sorry, we'll edit that out.
Had a pretty good turnout then?
Yeah, you know, what I expected.
I didn't make it. You all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Couple more.
No.
You're saying no. Come on, you gotta get ready.
I choose to be in better shape for a variety of reasons.
2 more.
Going up into the mountains
Right there.
to look for a potential gold mine has me motivated to get back into shape.
But you are going to be taking some wilderness classes and doing some survival and...
No, I won't need to. No, I have great hope, and great hope.
Right, but I'm saying you could get to your utopia or whatever, and it could turn into complete hell.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, that's possible. Well, not likely, but possible, yeah.
Anything's possible,
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. GPS, camera, binoculars. You could certainly get turned around in these mountains, and you hear stories of hikers and backpackers that get up here and end in death if they're not prepared. Well, it's not much of a road. Now, there are a lot of mines in various parts of the country that have been forgotten, or, you know, the maps have been lost, people have been killed, whatever the case may be. There's no longer, you know, they're hidden. And so I'm looking for ways to finance the work that has to be done in preparing for this event. Certainly there are other people that will be willing to participate at some point, but today I don't know those people. You can turn it the other way if you need to, whatever.
Yeah. Ready?
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3. You see any black lines in the rock over there?
I can see it all. I just didn't see where we missed this turn. It's all right, it was well worth the hike anyway.
Yeah.
So off to another day. There have been all sorts of doomsdayers saying, oh, in 2000, the world's coming to an end. In 2004, there's grand conjunction, world's coming to an end. The difference is they didn't have any data to back it up. I've done tons and tons of research, and the kind of research that most people wouldn't have time for anymore. This event, to be honest with you, my conclusions are that it answers everything in prophecy of the end times. Okay. Time to turn around. I took a wrong fork. It's not by chance at all that we hit the galactic center exactly at the end of the Mayan calendar. As we get closer and closer, we're going to see rivers turning to blood, life in the oceans dying, the earthquake, the deluge, the conflagration, and when we hit the galactic center, I expect that to go off the chart exponentially. This event is what you have to prepare for if you choose to survive.
Fue un gran desastre que bajan sobre el volcán 2002. No sabemos nosotros, por ejemplo, trabajamos y pescamos, no sabemos todavía, pero gracias a Dios a ustedes que nos dieron esa noticia, pues nosotros podemos saber cómo pues logramos nuestra vida. ¿Sabes?
Sí, claro.
Sí.
You can laugh now, but we'll see who's laughing. When the mushroom cloud finds its way over the horizon, you're going to look back on this, and you're going to think, wow, I'm an idiot.
People in the West I think often look to indigenous cultures as a source of inspiration because our cultures, in a sense, I would say, are spiritually uninspired for the most part. The ancient Maya said next to nothing about the year 2012. But as it turns out, many different oral traditions do speak of an imminent period of radical transformation of one form or another. Actually, every single elder that I've spoken to in Belize, Guatemala, and Mexico has said virtually the same thing. There is this sense of pending massive societal transformation. In this part of the world here, in the central highlands of Guatemala, well, they have suffered their own form of apocalypse, especially with the brutal assault of the Guatemalan military. And so there's a sense that this cannot stand, and a shift is in the works.
El Tihash es la curación, este fuego que vamos a tener, un fuego sagrado. Entonces, la curación de la mente de nuestra gente en el mundo. Fuimos enviados al mundo a cumplir una misión. Yo doy gracias a la JAU cuando hay un temblor, cuando hay un terremoto, cuando hay un fenómeno natural, mucha gente muere. Es una limpieza para mí. Claro, como un ser humano, es bueno para el cuerpo vibrar, pero también la naturaleza tiene derecho de vibrar, ¿ya? Tiene derecho de sacudir. Es cuando uno cambia. Como Maya, no hay mundo a acabar. Así que sí, hay un cambio.
It's going to rain for 2 days.
2 days?
Yeah, so this root system will dump the dirt around it and still go. Then you can shape it.
Thank you.
Enjoy it.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
It. It was a little seedling.
Yeah.
Oh, enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
My neighbor, John, is one of the sweetest human beings. I, generally speaking, keep most of my neighbors at a distance. I have the ability to defend with lethal and non-lethal means against my neighbors. And so I keep that to myself.
Basically, this was the first shelter Leland built for his whole family. It was, he built it nice and big so that they could put a bunch of bunks in here and stuff. And this is where it's caved in right up here, and then this is where it hasn't. All right. Garrett, do you know what we're gonna do with all this, like, protein stuff? I think if you dig down far enough,
it's bad, dude. We should just throw it away. Unflavored colored granules.
Well,
I mean, this is probably, what, 30 years old?
Yeah, well, someone was saying we could scoop off the top and it might be good underneath.
Well, if you want to eat it, you be my guest.
Don't drop it yet. I'm coming.
I wanted to ask you about this. I don't know how long it's been there.
TVP, it's good.
It is good?
Yeah.
It looks like it's been eaten and...
No.
All right. Yeah, well, I was just wondering. I wanted to ask you.
That's fine. Oh, we leave it here. We can feed it to the chickens.
Well, they're eating it.
That one spit it out. They're like dogs.
Yeah, they can eat carrion, but you do have to be careful about some things that are moldy. It can kill them.
Yeah, we know you're there. I'll pick you up. When you're raising chickens, you want to have 4 or 5 square feet per bird. If you've got them too crowded, they'll begin to cannibalize each other. It's like putting 100 people in a very small room in a time of emergency. After a day or two, they're at each other's throats. Well, you've got to give chickens a little more room too.
When the fallout comes and it gets really bad, you stay in the concrete box for a good 3 days. So we're not hurting, we're in style. It's very simple. First of all, if you live in the cities where the tares have been gathered, you want to move out. Christ said in his parable, bind together the tares first and burn them up. The tares are all those who have rejected what God has revealed through his prophets and the commandments. I think Obama getting elected is the most evident proof of this nation's transgressions and apostasy from God. And I will count it as a miracle if we get there in 45 minutes from now and this whole thing hasn't ended yet.
In Jeremiah chapter 20, verse 7, O Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Look at the color of the crowd. It's more than 3/4 blacks out there. Boy, we've got a terrible destiny ahead of us.
But in the words of Scripture, the time has come to set aside childish things. With hope and virtue, let us brave once more the icy currents and endure what storms may come. Let it be said by our children's children that when we were tested, we were...
That's amazing. I sure never thought that would ever happen. I don't understand it. So I've been wrong. You know, that's not anything new.
What is that?
You know, I know Leland's told you, well, you'll never get your video out, but last year, you know, he said that Obama would never take office either, so. No, I don't laugh at it, but I don't really freak out about it, you know. I just kind of want to go and do my life.
Oh, yeah, kids get to service,
Nope, that's not how you do that. Keep that gun pointed away from you at all times. Okay, do you know how to cock this? Huh? You hold it like this, push this down. No, right here, down. Down, okay, let go of it. Okay, it's ready to go. You missed. Are you deaf? You deaf? See, Kendall, that's what happens to people. I think the defining moment's almost here where we're either for good or for bad. I mean, there's just a tenseness in the air. I mean, it's the same story, different millennium. Rise and fall of society.
I had a unique experience years ago when I was flying back from one of my farms in western Utah, and I crashed and was taken through to the other side of the veil. I met the apostles and the Savior, and then he proceeded to show me that hundreds of millions of people were going to die. But 3 weeks later, they operated on me, and 2 years before I could walk. And during all that time, why, I began to study and read and try to prove the things that I had learned from the prophets on the other side. Okay, so I'm reading yesterday, and it says, and many false prophets shall rise and deceive many. Doesn't say one little old gimpy guy in Parowan's going to deceive 20, 30 people. And when ye shall therefore see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Did you say, oh, wait a minute.
Abomination of desolation,
the holy place.
and most powerful holy place. It's a White House, not for a black man. It's a White House.
I beheld Satan.
For a white man. A-bomb, a nation.
I know, but you're saying abomination, but if you say A-B-O instead of O-B-A.
Brian, what's your point? There's going to be an A-bomb.
I know what you're saying, Leland. I'm just switching.
And we've got an abomination in the most holy place in the White House. Right now, black man, an abomination. Now tell us more. Look, this is not going to be a fun meeting. I've got to chasing you and you and you and you and you and everybody have been on the end of that whipping stick at one time or another. This is as far as we can get here on the 25th of June. Should have bought some flavoring. We could have had some snow cones. I haven't even talked to Brian since November, December. He's very hostile. And I realized he didn't want to live the gospel. All he wanted to do was be a polygamist, and I kind of doubt whether he ever will. Well, I shouldn't say ever. Maybe he will when things get tough enough. Women will settle for anything.
Isaiah chapter 4. 7 women will cling to one man in the last days. Here's Leland's view of life. I'm going to be the only fat old guy left after all hell breaks loose, okay? And I'm going to get all the women I want. That's his view, okay? And I have a policy that I've adopted since this whole Leland church thing. I believe none of what I hear and only half of what I see. I heeded his message. I built me a shelter, but don't come demand 10% of my Federal Reserve notes that ain't worth the gosh damn thing for us, okay? And that's the same scenario as the religion that I just got kicked out of, okay? Give me your money or you're gonna burn in hell. Ain't happening. And then one night it really swapped ends and I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I never went back. Right away, the death and hell threats came immediately. Oh, all your kids are gonna die of some terrible disease. I'm gonna lose my wife, she's gonna leave me, on and on and on. And I was just like, I'm not buying into this. This is not happening. Oh, we're gonna go to Idaho and see if we can find some property somewhere where we can be completely self-sufficient in every aspect. The more you depend on somebody, the more power and control they have over you. Okay, Kendall, bring the bullets. I'm not holding it for you, you're holding it by yourself, okay? So which wine bottle are you gonna shoot? It's kind of like sex education, you know? Some parents choose not to tell their kids about sex at all, so they end up getting knocked up and having a disease. Let's see how well he was paying attention. Yep. You know, except in this case, they just end up getting their little butts killed because they didn't know nothing about weapons. Well, I can already see you're not going to hit anything.
Dang it.
Are you aiming it right, Kendall?
Probably not.
Yeah, he's aiming it close.
Oh, he was so close.
Okay, you're all done. Come here, Chia. Yay!
She shot that top, didn't she?
Yeah, that's because she was only 5 feet away from it.
Yep, I did the best.
Everybody did good. We're just gonna have to do better.
Some people say they're visionaries. I think they're wackos. But I have a vision, which is, it goes like this. Pick one room, just one room out of your place and just fill it to the brim with food, supplies, water. Get yourself a gun. You're gonna do with a sword. Before the comes down, get yourself a load of bullets, and then just get yourself whatever you believe in and keep it close. Keep it damn close. What else do you want to know about being badass?
After the catastrophic event, it's going to be the most wonderful time on the history of the planet. The kind of things that I think about sitting by myself most of the time on a minute-by-minute basis, I look forward to being able to share that with somebody. And I believe that person is coming. I went head first, thrown off my motorcycle, cracked my helmet. The motorcycle ran into my back, which was what ruptured my spleen. After that experience, I was able to see things in my own future. And that's rare for anybody who knows about psychic ability, is to be able to see your own future. I could walk up to somebody and I could see the order of everybody in their family that was going to die, including their pets. Not how, not when, just, you know, father, dog, mother, down the list. So here I am living in the state for about 3 weeks, and I went to a Chinese acupuncturist, a Chinese master, and he stuck 4 needles in me, blacked me out, and I woke up finally and the gift was gone. A lot of people ask me this question. They say, well, what if it doesn't happen? It's not even a possibility in my mind because of the research I've done. You know, I could tell them that I wouldn't want to raise children in the world we have today, in the societies that we have built. I'm quite content to change my lifestyle forever, no matter what happens.
Honey, will you help me unfold
Yeah,
this?
sure.
You know, if you want meat, you might as well go to the market. So I found singlesaints.com. And then I was like, hey, you should come up to Idaho.
Visit.
And then we went outside, and we were standing by this irrigation canal. And he drops down on one knee and asked me to marry him.
Our dad always said wait at least 2 months before getting married to someone.
Yeah, well, we were pretty quick, but we had a lot of common beliefs. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody.
Life is pretty much normal.
It goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you just live life as it comes to you. I mean, you're not. I mean, you don't cease being a normal person just because you decide you want to prepare for something that might happen.
I haven't seen snow for like years.
Years?
Yeah.
Well, when you came to Utah the last time, there was no snow, I imagine.
So pretty.
I'm euphoric. I'm euphoric at all of it. I love the universe, I love life, and I love the way everything unfolds exactly the way it's supposed to.
You want to see it? I was searching online. And you were kind of the last video that I looked through, and it was the passage where you're talking about the community that you're creating. And so I was like, this is it. This is exactly what I've been praying for.
All right, so here's the website, and you can see on half the screen it comes up perfectly.
Oh yeah, I can be here. Where are we at here? We have members. We're not even ready yet. Like, this is not what's going to look like. This is temporary. Everything is temporary.
So I have to take my message to the world, whatever that means, and create this community wherever it's going to be. I've sold all my real estate, I've sold my business, and given the rest of it away, and it's time to move.
We're gone for a few days and the place is burning up. Okay, well, these people got an order from them for 3 bottles of potassium iodide that will help protect their thyroid gland from the radioactive iodine that's in all of nuclear fallout. Okay, they're on the Minnesota-Ohio border. Boy, they're in a bad place. They're downwind from 4 missile fields. All right, well, let's box it all up. There, we'll mail this. So they'll have it in a couple of days, priority mail. This little town we live in here, Parowan, southern Utah, only 2,900 or 3,000 people, so that's the advantage of living in a small town. We don't have to fight the rush hour traffic, do we? You must be a local native Parowan girl? No.
Do I look like it?
No, I hadn't seen you before, but I thought, I don't know everybody in town. Where are you from?
California.
Oh, really? Where at?
San Diego.
San Diego. Ooh, that's a bad place to be. The port of San Diego is a big naval base. That'll get nuked. If she doesn't get out of San Diego, why, you'll never see that girl on the earth again a year from today. She'll be gone.
Okay, fat cat. No, not you. In fact, you go. You go. Unstable presence. Come on, let's go. So essentially, my soul, if you want to call it that, has course corrected in profound ways.
When we pull out,
with the help
all right, never mind, we're good.
of LSD to realign my neural pathways, to reconcile. Later, understanding the role of DMT, dimethyltryptamine. DMT is an endogenous brain chemical. It's something that your body makes every night when you sleep. In this DMT experience, I passed this test. It had the feeling of a Marine Corps drill instructor. Who are you? What are you all about? How's this? Is this tucked in properly? Is that tucked in properly? Do you have this covered? Do you have that covered? And then it asked me, what about everyone else? And at that point, I faltered.
Dirty volcano. Here we go! My man, your espresso's almost ready!
Because as we go through cataclysmic change, suffering is a part of life. But that being said, I see my role as easing suffering.
I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna shave you truffle chocolate on it.
After that DMT experience,
et voila!
I started the Survive and Thrive meetup group, specifically to welcome in everyone.
What we're gonna focus on today again is growing your own food. Different principles for sustainability in your own little corner of the world.
I specifically wanted to attract women so that they could protect their children. That's really at the seed.
You save money and you get a better yield from what you're growing.
One of the things that's gotten me through my childhood is loving those excluded, rejected by a lot of the survivalist culture.
And I also wanted to talk a little bit about guerrilla gardening, which even though I have this vast farm, I still do some of. I think it's a lot of fun. Now, in the city, I favor things that people aren't necessarily going to recognize as food. And with Americans, guys, this is not really hard. Basically, there's like 4,000 kinds of edible plants, and Americans eat like 35 of them. So this isn't like a huge trick. You know, and if somebody comes along and eats it, you know, great. That's all right, too.
My father, he was a Chief Master Sergeant for the Strategic Air Command in the Air Force. He was a sociopath. His consciousness was very removed from humanity, and he took a tremendous amount of personal delight in torturing animals and small people. So I lived with him on and off, or with my mother, who beat me on a near daily basis, stabbed me in the arm with a fork right here. So oftentimes living in the slums of Philadelphia, some of the worst that Philly has to offer, the individuals that I was surrounded with, a lot of junkies, a lot of thieves, a lot of violence. When I turned 16, my mother was attacking me, and I blocked her one punch, and I blocked her other punch, and I held her wrist there, and she said, "Ooh, God, I hate you. I wish you had never been born." And then she spat in my face. I picked up and I hit the road. I've been on my own ever since. All right, 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good. As we surf the decline, the end of the world as we know it, the skills that we focus on, the skills that the individual can carry forth into the community, into their tribes as those tribes are eventually formed or defined. We're going to touch on a lot of different things, including keeping the simple old things alive, but also ways to sustain yourself in the meantime.
These are a bit too big for me. No, I'll take the little sticks. I'll grab these little ones. Need to find some little sticks.
We have a portable apartment here, little survival situation AC. Little semblance of civilization.
Surviving, you might not need it at first for now, but it's a good tool to have. Maybe the world's not going to end, but maybe we'll actually lose our homes and we'll actually just have to live in the wilderness like we did millions and millions of years ago.
Does it feel uncomfortable?
No,
Just
it
like
feels
the first time
unusual.
Just like the first time you rode a bike.
Probably. Well, my friend asked me the other day if I was preparing for Armageddon, and I said even just 100, 150 years ago, people were homesteading a lot more than they are now and knew how to do 95% of the stuff they needed on their own, and we've come so far from that. I think it's a very dangerous place to be.
You got great form. It's looking good. You're doing better than a lot of beginners.
Thanks. Woo!
You okay?
Oh, I'm fine.
Who just started a fire using a bow drill? Who just did that?
Tell you what, fellas, we're looking pretty good. If we can just knock out this center here, that there, if we could just drop that down a little bit lower, we'll be fine. Yeah, there you go. Like, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. What we're going to do here is we're going to make a solar still early enough in the day so that we can actually see the results later. Grab a bunch of these weeds right here. None of this is poison. We're going to take some wastewater and purify it, as well as pull water out of the plants here. Now the cup is right in the dead center, and you can urinate right into this, and you will not be drinking urine at the end of the day. It's a very natural process. This is the way water gets up into the clouds to become clean rainwater in the first place. Now that it's taut all the way around, put a pebble dead center over the vessel so that as the water condenses on the top, it's going to slowly drain and drip into that cup. At high noon, it's already going to start taking in some heat.
I want to try and open up their eyes and get them away from all this camping gear and into our natural environment. Whoa! We're just going home for dinner. So that's a very cool trap.
It's a trap!
Every New Year's, somebody thinks that the world's going to end. Sometimes I get caught up in it. But everything happens for a reason, and whether or not I survive doesn't matter. It's how I live every day that matters. I try to keep that in mind. So, you know, I mean, the emergency could be as simple as a hurricane, or the apocalypse, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It all comes down to will. If you want to live, or you want to give up. You can be a hero, you can be a villain, you can be a victim. It's your choice.
I started this group not having a whole lot of faith in humanity as a whole. So I started this group without having too much expectation of its ability to work together. Honestly, I still consider most people to be flakes. Honestly. Pre, right now, take him now. Okay, ma'am, I've accidentally let my dog run loose.
Oh no.
And he's now running. Kid, grab him, but he's good. Get him, get that dog. Laura, I wish you had your ears on. Laura, you need to slow down when you're talking on the radio, all right? Hey guys, where'd that dog go?
It went up and around. It's up the street now.
Up that street? Yeah. Thanks, guys. Last time he almost got hit right there by a semi. Radio, check. Hey, did you guys see that dog? German Shepherd. There he is. Laura, can you hear me? 7th and Mill Streets. Good boy. Come here, man. Hey. Hey. Get him. Get him. Come here, man. Relax. Don't run in the street. Don't get hurt. You know what I need for my survival kit? A tranquilizer gun. How about that? Oh, yeah. Good job. You guys rock. You wore him out. You kept on top. You let us know where he was. And you guys are freaking awesome. All right? I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And you, I don't blame you. I don't blame you for wanting to run. I respect that. That's a perfect example of where I think that I can be wrong. I am willing to be wrong. In fact, in many cases, I hope that I am wrong about so much of what I believe. I pray that I'm wrong. So the idea of not relying on other people, the idea of keeping neighbors at a distance, when the reality is it's most likely a tribe, it's most likely teamwork that will actually get us through tough times. And this is an example of where I am open to the experience. I am not grounded in my ego, and I am willing to change. I pray for change.
I'm not a big sniper man, I'm a close combat shotgunner. It's really simple. See, the barrel actually comes out of here. This fits right into this little hole in the spring. Sucker. No. No, stupid. I can do this with my eyes closed. I'm not on camera. Son of a...
Have you been sick?
No.
No? Just thin?
Yeah, I mean, anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, the timing of the events. Well, what I've realized is that the timing and the predictions were inaccurate. And you'll love this part. 2012 is going to become the greatest non-event in history.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
Good to see you. It'll still happen within the next 10 years.
So, but what if it doesn't happen in the next 10 years then?
Oh, trust me.
If it doesn't happen though,
Well,
I'm just saying.
It doesn't matter to me because I've chosen a different lifestyle that doesn't rely on the matrix. So I don't...
Kind of.
I am not living it. I've chosen it.
Okay, let's get the obliques.
When I left the business world and sold my company and sold my real estate, I took a journey, and that journey, of course, answered a lot of questions. My relationship with Sandrine, it didn't have any future as I could see it. Now, to me, mistakes are learning opportunities, so it's not all bad. But most people don't want to make mistakes in their life. They'd prefer to have a life without mistakes.
We have our 3 churches, and then we have the prophet. That there speaks to the diversity of Parowan, okay? Everybody has their beliefs. He's entitled to his, and we're entitled to ours. Being Leland Freeborn's neighbor is quite unique. The last conversation that I had with Leland, he said, "So Lisa, you're alone over here now?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Well, don't you ever get horny?" He then very graciously told me that he's always alone over there, and if I feel the need to come visit him, which won't happen in the near future. I think he's prepared, but I don't think he knows what for.
I've had 4 children born in this house, right?
And I was the first of those.
Right.
Those happy childhood memories. There was always iodine that was provided. You know, we always knew that there was the possibility of needing to live underground. There was kind of an ominous air in the sense of expecting all of those prophecies to manifest as told.
Someday you'll understand.
And someday you may.
Yeah, someday. You got something from me, didn't you?
I did. Got a lot of things from you. Stubbornness being one. And on some levels, I look back and I can't say that I've really truly had the experience of fatherhood throughout my life from you. But hopefully, this December, we can all get somewhere safe, and if that's, is that the timeline, December?
What do you mean this December?
It's usually December, so
Yeah.
I would assume it's this December.
Yeah. What do you know about it?
Well, I know it's gonna happen in December. I know that much. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I stubborn?
I think you're becoming less so as you age. You just have to go with the flow sometimes and accept things as they are, and the more you try to change them on occasion, they can stay the same.
My daughter is really what ended my suicidal self-loathing for most of my life. And then that changed, and that burden was totally lifted, and I know what I'm alive for.
It's good to have
Why do you do this stuff?
Why do I do this stuff?
Death is nothing to be afraid of, but we should live as long and as well as we can, while we can.
It's kind of a great little survivalist tool if you think about it. It leaks oil, it's really noisy, and it's pretty reliable, but you know. Did you see me take off?
Yeah.
I just basically want to be able to do things according to the dictates of my own false conscience. If your people are going around thinking that they're better than everybody else, then I think you're in a false religion, personally. I think you better find something different.
Lectura del Santo Evangelio según San Mateo. De esta agua queden renovados en el cuerpo y en el alma y te sirvan con limpieza de vida por Jesucristo nuestro Señor.
Para que vayas a la gloria, no ir al infierno. Bonita frase, pero para mí como descendiente maya no hay espacio en esta vida. Para mí como maya es aquí donde hay que construir el paraíso, la gloria. ¿Ya?
Oh my God. Et voilà, arrivo, arrivo. Make it happen, my man. Look at that. Ice espresso. Look like ice cream. Look at that. Look. Look, my man. Look. God. Now I'm gonna make it happen.